Hello, everyone. How are you? It's Colleen Suchecki here with Believe, Grow, Shine, and I help spiritual women business owners break out of fear, anxiety, doubt, and being frozen in inaction so that they can boldly and confidently go after their dreams and take steps to create them. And I am very excited about today's video. This has been an inspiration here. And I think it's something that is not talked about enough. So the number one killer of confidence is self-betrayal. Self-betrayal. So this is what we're going to be talking about on this video, is the ways that we betray ourselves and the little ways and big ways in which we do that, and the detriment that that has in our relationship with ourselves. So if you're coming on, please say hello so I know you're here. I'm just going to share this video out really quickly here so more can see it. But what we're talking about is the number one confidence killer, which is self-betrayal. So I know it's not a very sexy topic, but it's one that can have such a huge impact on every single area of our life. All right, just sharing this out here. Okay, so let's talk about the ways that we betray ourselves. So again, there are little ways and then there are bigger ways. So some little ways are, hello there, Lucy. Some little ways in which we betray ourselves is when we say yes to something when we really mean no. When we say yes to doing something, when something feels like an obligation, we don't really want to do it, but we say yes anyways. Good morning, Penny. We're betraying ourselves. And this may feel like maybe a harsh way to look at it, but it's the truth. So another way we betray ourselves is when we say no to something that we really want to do. When it's like, oh, I can't really do that. Who am I to do that? Maybe it has to do with traveling, or maybe it has to do with going to a conference or an event that really lights us up. But we're like, oh no, I really can't do that because what would happen with the kids and all the responsibilities? Like, I really just can't do that. I can't take this time away. Another way in which we betray ourselves is when we silence our voice. When there's something that's happening, when we could be in a group of people and we have something to say and we choose not to say it. That is another way in which we betray ourselves. Hello, Tracy. And here's the reason. A lot of times when we're silencing ourselves, we're actually doing it to make other people feel comfortable. Oh, this might be something that's inconvenient for me to say, or this might make someone uncomfortable. Speaking my truth maybe you feel like it was going to hurt someone else. But instead of just doing the thing, we betray ourselves and we keep ourselves silent. Another way in which we betray ourselves is when we put on masks depending on who's around. So we'll go into one group of people and we'll, hello there, Shazlin. We'll go into one group of people and we'll be wearing this mask so that we fit in with them. And then we go to another group of people and then we put on a totally different mask so we fit in with them. But all the while, where we're trying to get this energy of having people like and accept us and feel like we belong, we are betraying ourselves in the process. Another way in which we betray ourselves is when we make others an authority over us. When someone says, oh, you should really be doing this. Perfect example for me personally is like having a business coach tell me, oh, this should be your focus and you should be doing this in your business. And I totally give all my power away to them. And I start doing that, which is totally out of alignment with who I was at the time, and everything really exploded. It went down a very, very wrong path. I betrayed myself in that moment because I knew when that person was coaching me and really was saying, you really should be doing this, on the inside, I knew that was not my truth, but I did not say anything. I chose, no, they must know better than me about my business and my life. And so these ways in which we give our authority over to others, we betray ourselves. We betray what is our truth. And the thing is the best analogy that I've ever heard about this trust, betrayal and trust, came from Brene Brown. And if you do not know who Brene Brown is, please go Google her, because she is unbelievable. She just has a new Netflix special out called The Call to Courage, I think it is, and it's unbelievable. So I highly recommend it. But in Brene Brown's call, it's The Power of Vulnerability was her audible that I heard her give this analogy. She talked about a marble jar. And so when you have the marble jar, right? Like when you're kids, when you do something good, you put marbles in the jar. And then when you do something bad, or, you don't follow the rules, you get marbles taken out of the jar. Well, she gave this analogy around, trust. And when we are doing things where we are building trust in ourselves, we are adding marbles to the jar. And when we take away trust or we betray ourselves, we take away marbles from the jar, right? So it's not a black and white, either, oh, I have trust in myself or I don't. There's this continuum. It's like a continuum, and where we are in the continuum and how much we've betrayed ourselves really equals how much we trust ourselves, how confident we are in ourselves. Because the bottom line is that when we are betraying ourselves, and one other example I wanted to use is that when we stay in a relationship that we know is not aligned anymore, and we stay in a relationship for, to make everyone else comfortable, to not rock the boat, to not have things get hard or be difficult for other people. Again, that's a self-betrayal. And none of this is trying to come from a place of judgment or criticism. This is just real talk here, okay? Because the truth is that when we are coming from a place of betraying ourselves, and when we're putting everyone else's needs before us, we are giving to get something. Right? So when we're saying yes to the obligation, when we're saying yes to the thing we don't really want to do, we're doing it so that we get something from another person. We're doing it so that we feel like either it's like we feel that they accept us, they like us, they love us, that we have a sense of belonging with them. So we're giving to get, right? Which is a conditional form of giving, which does not work. Okay, it does not work, because here's the problem with that, is that we are looking for other people to give us things that we are not willing to give ourselves. All right, let me just say that again. When we give to get, when we do all these things, when we do not honor our truth, when we betray ourselves, we are doing those actions are to get something from someone else. We're trying to get their love. We're trying to get their sense of acceptance and belonging, but we're not willing to do that for ourselves. Because when you come from a place of honoring your truth, from speaking your truth, from making yourself the authority in your life, you are internally coming from a place of love, acceptance, and belonging inside of you. And that's something that no one can take away. And when you get to that place, it is the biggest sense of freedom that I have ever experienced. When you get to a place where you love, accept, and belong to yourself, and you can freely say no to people, you can speak your truth, you can say the inconvenient or uncomfortable things, that is freedom. That is pure freedom, because it's more important to you to be true to yourself than to be true to anyone else. And the magical, wonderful thing about that is that when we honor ourselves and when we come from that place internally, we naturally are a magnet for people that love us for who we really are. And so it's this beautiful, when you get to that place internally, it's this beautiful dance of I'm going to just say the uncomfortable thing. I'm going to speak my truth, because I love myself, not because I don't need anything. When you get to a place where you don't need anything from anyone else, and the most important thing is that you're true to yourself, like, there is no greater sense of freedom, in my opinion. And in order to get to that place, that involves doing the inner work. That involves looking at why do you, looking at the belief systems that are in place internally, looking at doing some forgiveness on yourself. So there's lots of things that I take my clients through in terms of doing tapping on forgiveness, in terms of questioning beliefs. So, the typical belief is that I have to please you in order for you to like me, in order for you to love me, in order for you to accept me. I have to please you. And when we're coming from that place, we are only going to attract people that just take from us and that never actually truly like, honor, and accept ourselves, because we're not liking, honoring, and accepting ourselves. Is this making sense? So let me know if anything's coming up for you. So, I have countless ways. I know, like, even from clients, I've had clients who have stayed in relationships, one for over a decade, when they knew that they wanted to leave the marriage. And then when they finally, so they had like a decade of betraying themselves, which led to massive health issues, financial issues, because it erodes your connection with yourself. And then when they finally left, when they had the courage and did the inner work and released the things to leave, to be able to leave and to honor their truth, it was like everything magically disappeared. The health conditions left, financial issues. They ended up attracting a partner in their life that was just a perfect complement to them and really truly loved and honored them. And I know for myself, oh, so true. Yes, Carol. Okay, awesome. And so for myself, and I did already give an example about how I've in the past given my power away, my sense of authority away to other people, like a coach, and have them say to me, you should be doing this certain thing in your business. And I betray myself because I know that that's not my truth. And I listen to them and I think, oh, they must know better than me. Then everything just exploded. It was so horrible. So there's a lot of things to look at here when you're navigating through, coming back to a place of trusting in yourself and adding marbles to the jar. And those can happen in little ways and in big ways. It's like when someone, even at like a restaurant, right? Like, and they get your order wrong, or something, your steak is not cooked the way that you asked it to be cooked. And if you just sit there and you say, oh, I don't want to inconvenience anyone. Baloney, you're betraying yourself, okay? And I know that might seem really, really small, but those are the ways that you can actually start practicing this, what may feel very, very uncomfortable to some people, this speaking out, this honoring your truth. And say to the person, you know what, I asked for it to be medium well, and it's medium. Can you please send it back? So there's going to be a level when you're working on this, when you're working on creating this sense of trust in yourself, there's going to be a level of, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel inconvenient, right? We tell ourselves these things. Well, it's just easier, right? It's just easier if I go along with what they say. It's just easier if I just eat the steak how it is. It's just easier, but it's all bullshit. It is bullshit. Yes, it might be easier, but you're actually taking marbles out of the jar. You're taking marbles out of the jar and you're betraying yourself. And over time, when we do this over time, and it's like there's no more marbles left in the jar, then we are at like a crisis stage where we second guess everything. We don't, it can also show up as like total confusion and lack of clarity. Like, I have no idea what direction I need to go in. I have no idea what the next right step is for me, because we have such a level of mistrust in ourselves from all the little things and potentially big things in which we haven't honored ourselves, that we come to this place of honestly being in like a crisis. All right, does that make sense? Hopefully I'm making sense here. So again, the antidote to that, if you really want to make some huge leaps in that sense, is to do the inner work, is to look at what are the belief systems that are in place, what are the past experiences that are in place, and many of them come from early childhood, where we have just been, it's been ingrained and passed down to the generations, through the generations, where your needs don't matter. You're here to please everyone else, which is just not true. So that's the deeper work that is available if you're really looking to shift this. If you're really looking to boost your confidence and go to a greater sense of freedom and unhook from all of the fear about what are people going to say about me, what are people going to think about me, and really unhook from all of that, the core of it is building a strong foundation in your relationship with yourself, doing any of the forgiveness work, any of the healing work, any of the changing of beliefs that are keeping you in that spiral. And this is what we are going to be doing next weekend in the Women's Transformational Beach Retreat. It's in Salisbury Beach, which is just up the road for me, but it may not be from you. So it's in Massachusetts, and that is the core work we're going to be doing next weekend. So if this has spoken to you at all, if you get nothing else out of this, I hope that you at least start to practice even little ways in which you can start to speak up and speak your truth and honor yourself, even with, if you're at a restaurant or even in just little ways. But if you want to really, if you're the type of person who's like, I want to go deep, I want to move through this shit fast, I want to have a quantum leap in my relationship with myself, then I want to invite you to come to the Transformational Beach Retreat next weekend. It's women only. There are only 3 spots left that I have available. And if this is speaking to you and you would like to really transform your relationship with yourself so you can go to a new level of confidence, of clarity, of really being able to move forward passionately in your life in a place of honoring yourself, honoring your truth, honoring what is true for you, and coming from a place of loving, liking, and accepting yourself, then this is the place for you. So I will put the link after I'm off here. I will put the link in the comments so that if this is speaking to you in any way, then I please invite you to go check it out and let's have a conversation and see if it's a right fit. But anyways, so I am so grateful for you for tuning in today and listening. And I would love to hear if you had an aha or your biggest takeaway from this. Again, this is like running rampant, this whole self-betrayal. I see it with my clients. I see it with women I talk to. I see it. It's like this, and it's like this crisis that people are in because we have just been taught to betray ourselves. We've been taught to put everyone else first. And that's the path to living in a prison, right? That's the path to living in an inner prison where you never believe in yourself. You actually never feel the love, acceptance, and a constant state of disappointment, resentment, anger, because the people that you're trying to get the love from actually really never give it to you. So if you're done with that path and you'd like to see a path of freedom, you'd like to experience a path of joy, of really truly honoring and connecting with yourself, then I'd love for you to check out the retreat, see if it's a good fit for you. And we're going to get rocking and rolling there next Friday. It's going to start May 3rd and go through the weekend. So it's going to be really powerful. Anyways, I am so grateful for you watching, and I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Please leave me in your comments any ahas, any takeaways. I always love to come back and really see what really spoke to you. All right, have a great day.